ye and hear ye. The Supreme Court of Florida is now in session. All who have cause to plead, draw near, give attention, and you shall be heard. God save these United States, the great state of Florida, and this honorable court. Ladies and gentlemen, Supreme Court of Florida, please be seated.
Welcome to the Florida Supreme Court. Our first matter for the day is public reprimand of Judge Barry M. Cohen. Judge Cohen, please step forward.
Please on the paper.
Judge Cohen, you have entered into a stipulation with the Florida Judicial Qualifications Commission investigative panel. Will members of the audience please be seated? In that stipulation, you have admitted that you made comments that were inappropriate, given the time and place that the statements were made, including a public statement made about a pending case and public involvement in a partisan political campaign. You have also admitted that your conduct created an appearance of partiality and could have the effect of impairing the public's confidence in the integrity of the judicial system. In that stipulation, you agreed that this discipline, a public reprimand, is the appropriate discipline under these circumstances. Accordingly, Judge Cohen, we have ordered you here today so that we may carry out our constitutional duty to discipline judges for conduct unbecoming a member of the judiciary. This should be a sad day for you. It is a sad day for us. But most importantly, this is a sad day for the entire judiciary. Our courts exist to protect rights and liberties, uphold and interpret the law, and provide for the peaceful resolution of disputes. But courts can carry out their mission only with the trust and the confidence of the people who turn to them. By your actions, Judge Cohen, you have damaged that trust and confidence. The Code of Judicial Conduct clearly describes the link between the conduct of judges and the public's trust and confidence in the judiciary. As Canon 1 of the Code explains, a judge should participate in establishing, maintaining, and enforcing high standards of conduct, and shall personally observe those standards, so that the integrity and independence of the judiciary may be preserved. Judge Cohen, you have stipulated that your behavior violated Canon 1, as well as 4 other canons of the Code of Judicial Conduct. In its findings and recommendations, the Judicial Qualifications Commission reports that you have admitted to making inappropriate comments that came from the bench. On one occasion, you presided over a case in which a defendant was charged with failing to register as a sexual offender. You announced to the parties in court that you would pass out a newspaper column criticizing sexual offender laws. On the next day of trial, you passed out a copy of the newspaper article to the lawyers. A jury later returned a verdict of guilty, and you withheld a ruling on the defense motion for mistrial. The state attorney moved to recuse you because of pronounced bias and unfavorable opinion of the sexual registration laws in Florida and in other states. You entered an order finding the motion for disqualification legally sufficient and recused yourself. Judge Cohen, your stipulation with the Judicial Qualifications Commission details 4 other cases in which you made improper comments about the justice system and the state attorney's office. In one case, you expressed concern about the integrity of the system and accused the state attorney of having no concern about a miscarriage of justice. In still another case, you expressed disbelief that the state was bringing its case to a trial by jury. You expressed outrage at decisions made by the state attorney's office, accusing the state attorney of making a political decision to use the county court as a place to throw a case, to appease a private citizen, and throw it in front of a jury. Additionally, you have admitted to making public statements at a symposium about a criminal case pending before you. Specifically, you accuse law enforcement agencies in Palm Beach of enforcing the law in a discriminatory fashion. Finally, you have admitted to inserting yourself into a partisan political campaign by writing a letter to the editor, which was published in the newspaper. You identified yourself as a judge and then commented on the election for state attorney in the 15th Judicial Circuit. These several instances of wrongdoing on your part, Judge Cohen, violate several canons of the Code of Judicial Conduct. Specifically, Canon 2A, 3B9, 5A1, and 7A1B. You have acknowledged that you have violated these canons of the code in your stipulation with the JQC. Your stipulation also notes your wrongdoing could make an observer doubt your impartiality. I quote from the stipulation. Judge Cohen particularly acknowledges that his conduct could create in the mind of a reasonable person an appearance of partiality, and that Canon 2 mandates that a judge shall avoid the appearance of impropriety in all of the judge's activities. Importantly, the JQC has concluded that none of your rulings or decisions were adversely affected by your inappropriate statements, so that a more harsh discipline is not required. Judge Cohen, we advise you to consult the lengthy body of case law issued by this court in dealing with the cases of judicial misconduct. You will find that this court has viewed any further violations by a judge very harshly indeed. Judge Cohen, the Supreme Court of Florida hereby publicly reprimands you for your misconduct. You're free to leave.